watched the whole trial today. It was a great trial. Just as a real quick recap, Attorney Brian Steele got super heated. I watched Eban Films, one of my favorites to watch. The link will be in the description. And it's his name. He calls himself Posted. So make sure you go and like and subscribe to his channel. But it's been a long day. I got my Angie Steele wig on, and I'm not playing. And I'm just super excited that day 42 of the hearing for Young Thug went the way it went. It opened up a lot of police corruption, missing video, missing recordings. Attorney Love, she likes to talk and talk and talk and talk and talk to try to wear the judge out and wear everybody out. But Yak's attorney, I don't remember his name, stood up and said she could talk until we're blue in the face. Then were his not his words, but that's how I felt. And Judge, one day you're gonna have to stand up and start reversing your decision because she wears you out and talks and talks and talks and talks and talks. And that needed to be said. So it was just like a wake up call to Judge Glanville of the Fulton County Court. I think he stood his ground today with Attorney Love. I liked it today. Brian Steele turned around and told Attorney Love he's tired of her calling him a manufacturer of evidence. He said he's never been in a courtroom with an attorney like that throws those slanderous, shady, nasty accusations towards him, which is true. And he just let her have it. And he brought the heat. He brought the steel. Brian Steele brought the steel. He stood up to everybody in the court, including the judge, all the way to the point where he got the video, well, the audio evidence introduced without even having to introduce it. The judge wanted to hear it. So it was played for the judge. And it showed that Bean, who is one of the witnesses in the case that the state brought, Attorney Love from the district attorney's office, Fannie Willis, who brought this case to Young Thug. You remember when she was all up there. I'm just bringing you all up to speed. But Attorney Love brought this witness, and she couldn't get anything out of this witness. So, of course, she's going to have some hateration that Brian still got some stuff out of this witness and brought a recording where he recorded Bean making a testimony that Detective Quinn had him change his statement and include Young Thug in it. I want to go to the part with Brian Steele. Brian Steele said, I'm tired of her throwing shade at me. I'm tired of her accusing me. I'm tired of her saying this. If you don't watch any other hearing in this case, watch the hearing for today. I promise you, I've been watching these hearings pretty much from the beginning because I don't like the fact that lyrics should be used to incriminate what is it, 4, 5, 6, it was like 20 or 30 different defendants that the state was building a case against, just like it is with the Trump case, which doesn't have anything to do with the Young Thug case, but they're kind of equally matched. Now, I want you to just watch this because I'm worn out. I'm probably going to do about 3 hearings on this because I love this today. I just loved it. I just loved it. So until my camera dies, you guys got this from Eban Film. So just watch him, and we are sitting in my living room. Let me try to hold it up to y'all. This is going to start with the recording. So when you say the reason you would have a jail call with your wife and a friend of yours or whoever, you're going to tell us. That's because the same reason. It's just the police gave you something, a storytelling. You're just going to say to everybody. Okay. All right. We're going to shut the recording. It's what you told us the truth because that's all I've ever asked you for. That's it. Did anyone promise anything, threaten you? Give me the story. Let's get my not straight with you always. Is that true? Right. And you're state Charles Bill South. I'm working hard trying to catch up with. I work hard too. I just started working 2 jobs, so then I'm a war worker day and night. So we appreciate you. Certified flag, certified supervisor.
to come up. You did go to prison for 3 years, got 10 to do 3. Right. But I know what you explained, but just explain again what truly happened. I know you took a break.
I don't even know when we went in the court. Me, Ross Murphy, I think one day we come to court and they said, case dismissed, said the victim had killed himself or something like that. So I'm like, you don't got a victim.
You know, your other case. Well, I went to, yeah.
But that has something with my children.
But your children were fairly.
What happened with my kid, I had a co-op, you had a 10-year-old and a 12-year-old that was choked. One of them punched in the stomach, which was my kid. And I went around there and held with the guy called by myself. And I got caught up in it, and I explained to the judge what happened, and the judge sent me to take it.
And you caught up with the person
I shot both of the guys in the mission. But the one was 28, and the other one was 31. They were shopping on the 12-year-old by that basketball goal in the neighborhood, which was my kid. So everything that went on me, they happened to be in my kids. You know what I'm saying? They had nothing to do with all that.
And then last thing, and I'm sorry that you went through that in your children. YSL, are you ever part? They're saying YSL's a criminal street gang. Are you ever part of a criminal street gang? YSL?
No, sir.
Do you know Jeffrey Love didn't ever commit a crime? Ever?
No, sir.
You only know him through his music and his reputation.
I'm saying I heard of him on radio. You know what I mean? So I never do it, you know what I'm saying? I don't got no history with him. I don't hang with him. We live in two different separate places.
Okay, whatever happened, and I understand it was dismissed behind September 11, 2013. Your history had nothing to do with criminal street gang activity. Why, sir? Okay.
No, sir. I initiated that.
EBANFILMS. Subscribe to his channel.
And around me here. Is it okay if I turn the tape off? Unless Brian has another one.
I just had to announce the time.
Okay, it is now 11:20 a.m.
And we're going to write the Kroger's will disappear the Kroger's here
January 22nd, 2023. That's nice. Young people, young girl, tower me. Young girl was not in any vehicle with me. Never gave me no permission to do no crime. I'm way over than young girl. He never directed you to commit any criminal activity whatsoever.
You know him as a good person.
I ain't never heard of God been crazy. He take care of the neighborhood, he take care of his family. You know what I mean? The street, everybody want to be against the man. You know what I'm saying? So you know how I go. When you in the streets and making money, rich, you do anything with music, you got the bar stuff, and you take their name and put it on what you got going on, and just be, everybody, a lot of rappers. You know what I'm saying? They make it be a game, but it's not a game. All this little stuff. You don't see me in the neighborhood, walking around the neighborhood, I'm in the studio. Right. They don't make it work. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, that was like 10 years ago. When they talk about it again, it's like, God, just kill yourself. That should be over with, man. You know what I mean? If you want to get this out of the way,
We appreciate it. All right, thank you.
We're going to shut the recording off. It is now. Like I say, what it is, 11, keep going off the time. Let me go. 11:22 a.m. Cut it off.
So, Your Honor, that is the entirety of the conversation that has been provided to us. The court heard the interaction between the defendant, Brian Steele, and Mr. Bean. Mr. Bean, when asked, I know based on the conversation we heard that there was some conversation that he and Mr. Steele had outside of this. Of course, on redirect, we can ask that question. What was told? What were you told to say? Was there anything you were told to say? But I think it's important to note at one point during his cross-examination, do you remember them explaining that they, meaning the detectives, tried to force Jeffrey Williams or Young Thug into it? Do you remember saying that? Mr. Bean said, I think that was something you said, right? So all throughout this 10-minute recording, we hear Mr. Steele leading Mr. Bean, putting words out there, Mr. Bean acquiescing to what is being said. But the only thing regarding a statement that Mr. Bean tells Brian Steele, true or false, the only thing he says about a statement that he gave anybody was that they said they're trying to put Thug in here. And if you don't do this, you're going to be facing a lot of time and all that shit. And Brian Steele said, who is they again? And Mr. Bean said, Detective Quinn. And then Brian Steele said, no other prosecutors or police? And Adrian Bean repeats, no, it was just Detective Quinn. In the interview with Detective Quinn starts that recording before he ever even approaches Adrian Bean. And that happens on September 17, 2013. That's 4 days after the incident occurred, long after Mr. Bean had been released from the hospital. And he was released from Grady detention around 6:30 and was not put in the jail at 12 o'clock midnight on September the 12th. The first thing you hear Detective Quinn saying is something akin to, I'm Detective Quinn, have we met? And Adrian Bean never says, yeah, remember I talked to you yesterday or day before, some other time. And Adrian Bean, in his conversation with Detective Quinn back in 2013, he says, yeah, I told them at first, and the reference that he is making based on everything that is around this conversation is that while he was on the scene, he told them someone else was driving. Mr. Steele's question to Adrian Bean, why did you tell the detective at the hospital, Grady Hospital, on September 11, 2013, that it was not you, but your dear friend driving that Nissan vehicle? That's so wrong on so many levels. Number one, he is injecting stuff, assertions to the jury that doesn't exist, manufacturing evidence. What he should have done was ask Mr.
That's the first shade she called manufacturing evidence.
Mr. Bean, whether or not he spoke with someone at the hospital. He can lead him. He can say, you spoke with the detective at the hospital, right? Because that's all that's in this interview that we have between him and Mr. Bean. You spoke with the detective at the hospital, right? And that detective was Detective Quinn, right? Well, if he says, I don't know, I don't remember, then he can confront him with the inconsistent statement, which is, didn't you tell me and Investigator Martin that you talked to Detective Quinn at the hospital? He can say yes or he can say no. And then he can play the statement that he talked to Detective Quinn at the hospital. What he cannot do is assert as if it is fact, why did you tell the detective at the hospital, Grady Hospital?
So that is her argument. Let me get to Attorney Steele. Her argument is he was leading the witness. He did not say it in the way that she felt he should have said it. She had a little small argument that didn't even make sense. And this is what Attorney Steele came back with. Hold on.
Both with the detectives or the authorities, whatever his words are, at the hospital. That's what he says.
Okay, but here's her beef. If you'd have said, who'd you talk to? And he said, I talked to the detective. Well, was it Detective Lewis? Was it Detective Quinn? Was it Detective whoever? What I think that the question assumes is that he did in fact talk to Detective Lewis, and he didn't.
I don't know if that's true.
Well,
I'm not conceding that.
Well, I'm going to tell you that I haven't heard anything that would indicate that's truth.
Yeah, well,
You have a good faith basis to ask that.
You haven't heard anything of who he spoke with. That's my point.
That's the point.
He spoke
But you all can't. But you two, neither one of you can proffer that.
Judge.
It's not proper, Mr. Steele.
No. Listen.
It would be a violation before me for you to put that in front of this jury.
You're not letting me finish. In the September 17, 2000.
You are saying to the court that you have a belief that there is another statement out there. There's not.
How can you say that?
Because it hasn't been brought up. If it gets brought up, then we'll correct it at that point in time. But right now, I'm going to direct you not to inquire that line. You don't have a basis to do so.
Not true.
Well, go ahead and make a statement and see what happens.
Your Honor,
Go ahead and make this in contravention to what I just told you, and I'm telling you that you will have some problems in front of me.
So he doesn't like Brian Steele very well. Attorney Glanville has always thrown his weight around Brian Steele, but Brian Steele is not giving up on this one. Look at my Angie Stone wig. Brian Steele's not giving up on this one. He's not giving up. He's not letting Attorney Glanville yell at him and let Miss Love push her weight around on nonsense. Watch this.
I'm trying to articulate to you.
You have told me everything at this point. You have told me that there's got to be a statement. Now, if you find a statement, I will, one, apologize to you. Two, I will take corrective action. That's probably not going to be nice to anybody. But at this point, there's nothing for me to do other than if you don't have a good faith basis to do it, you can't ask the question.
He banned film.
Adrian Bean says, I lied to your.
But we don't know what he lied about.
He says he lied about who he's talking about the car.
But we still don't know whether or not he had a conversation with Detective Lewis.
And I made it clear. It's 10 years ago.
But you said you had in your conversation with Detective Lewis. That's what you proffer.
I said, or any other detective or law enforcement. Read the transcript. I made it clear. I don't know. He doesn't remember names. He says it was Detective Quinn. Also on the recording on Sunday, January 22, 2023, Mr. Bean is the one who said this happened in the hospital. Your Honor, I'm the one complaining about I don't have the statement.
Wrestling.
I've been asking for it. This is Brady. Clearly there was a statement made.
We don't, but we don't know if there's a statement. You're supposing there's a statement, okay? And there may be. And you know what I said? And you know what I said earlier? I said if there is Brady that's not disclosed, then that particular individual is going to have some problems with me. I told you that already. Or I have a lot of different remedies I can execute at that point in time.
He ready to slide on.
But you can't intimate or otherwise cross over the line when you don't have the statement to back it up.
Judge, I've been robbed of the statement.
But we don't know where the statement is. If we find the statement or it comes up or in cross-examination, Quinn brings up and says, hey, happen to have a statement right here in my massive file. And if he does, then of course, I will revisit this particular subject again.
I'm saying it's been deleted. It's been destroyed.
We don't know. You don't know. We don't know what happened. We don't know what happened. We had the same issue that happened earlier in this trial about a statement. We don't know whether or not it was the hack or whether or not it's intentional. Now you can make whatever hay you want out of it. I mean, and the jury can decide for what they want to give it. But you cannot ask the question in its current form. You just can't.
Your Honor, I'm not asking any questions, but you have to understand the following, please. 6 days later, Detective Quinn and Adrian Bean are on recording where Adrian Bean tells Detective Quinn, I lied.
About what?
I lied.
About what?
Who was driving the car, he gets cut off. Detective Quinn says, yeah, tell me about it.
Brian still knows his stuff, y'all.
That's what I've been asking for.
But that doesn't still give you the latitude at this point in time to ask that question. Now I told you, if we find out from Quinn, and I'm telling the state that if I find out that the statement exists, there's going to be a lot of unhappy people.
Well, what if you don't find out it exists? I still am entitled to. That's my whole point.
Okay, but here's the thing. You've asked me for it. I've asked them. If it comes up later, or I find out it's sitting someplace that was in possession of the state, pursuant to case law and definition, then we'll have some problems.
I understand, but you're asking when we have to find the statement for. I'm telling you the statement was made.
It doesn't work that way, Mr. Steele. I'm sorry. No, it does not.
Yes.
No, it doesn't. And you haven't presented any case law to tell me how to do that. And I'm telling you, as the judge presiding over this case, if you do that, it's misconduct.
I'm not doing anything.
I'm telling you right now.
You ain't tough.
You're telling me. I'm not.
I am telling you, you have no good faith basis at this point in time to ask that question right now, or to intimate that.
I didn't ask any
Say it with your chest.
You are listening to District Attorney Love.
Where the gavel at? Have a gavel.
I'm ready to cross-examine.
Look,
I'm
look,
going
he
to play
keep turning
the
up and
recording
turning
just
down.
now. This gentleman tells me, I'm recording, that he was at the hospital speaking with law enforcement. I want that. It is backed up because I'm recording 6 days after the crash into that side of the building, Your Honor.
Ooh.
Detective Quinn and Mr. B are talking about the statement that Mr. B made prior. I don't have it. And when the court asked me, well, you gotta find it, or if I find it, it wasn't given over.
Then we'll have some problems. Then we'll have some issues.
I have some issues now. I've been begging for it. The state's supposed to give this.
Let me ask, hold on, Mr. Okay, stop for a second.
Okay.
So, have you inquired of Detective Quinn where this other statement or?
Get Miss Love,
Judge,
get
that's
her.
just it. Mr. Steele is literally manufacturing evidence. There is no other statement. I have
Throwing
asked whether or
shade.
not there was a statement. I asked Tracy Lewis at the hospital. Let me be real clear, because he keeps conflating stuff. Adrian Bean never told Detective Quinn that he made a statement at the hospital. I have his
But he's,
transcript.
okay, but we don't know where he made the statement, and also he's lied, so we don't know what he lied about either.
Your Honor, to be very clear, there's no statement. I have asked Detective Lewis. They can ask Detective Lewis. She never talked to
She
him.
sidestepped.
Detective Quinn, who is the only
He
person,
asked
it's not
her,
just police.
Did
the
he
only
ask,
person
did she
Adrian
ask
Bean
Detective
asserts
Quinn?
to
She
Brian
sidestepped
Steele,
it.
in this recording that he gave us, this 10-minute recording, he said, I spoke to Detective Quinn. It's obvious that he didn't speak to Detective Quinn at the hospital, because the first time he met Detective Quinn was September 17th, when he pulls him in for the interview. Literally, Mr. Steele is manufacturing something. So when the court is even asking me, okay, do you know where this statement is? Assuming that there's not a statement. There is no statement. There's no evidence. That's the problem with Mr. Steele asking questions the way that he asks
Throwing
them.
shade.
He is assuming facts that are not in evidence. And he is
Manufacturing, assuming
the jury's
facts.
province, and they're
He might be doing that because it was a cover-up, and the fact that it's missing evidence, and y'all
That's
don't want to admit it.
posted, y'all.
So
You
he's
gotta
saying
go
that
to
it
his
was
channel.
audio, but where it's
Eban
at.
Films.
And now y'all saying, nah, there ain't no evidence. He bluffing, man. He
Excuse the
making it
dog,
up.
y'all. Not interruptions.
their ability to discern and weigh evidence, because he is injecting assertions into his questions about things that don't exist. Similarly, he says, do you recall explaining that you made calls from the Fulton County Jail that you knew were being recorded to support your lies to the police that Jeffrey was involved on September 11th, 2013? That's what he asked the witness. You heard the interview. He didn't say that anywhere in that interview. This is the kind of manufactured evidence Mr. Steele keeps putting in front of the jury. He never said that during the interview, yet that's the question. That's the question Mr. Steele asked Adrian Bean on the stand. Nothing like that ever happened. And his conversation, during his cross-examination of Adrian Bean, the cross-examination is replete with examples just like that. There is no statement. He can't sit there and say there.
I know what he did, y'all. All right. He tricked him, y'all. So look, the police already admitted that he'd be erasing it until he get what he want. So now, Brian Steele then threw out the idea there's missing recording. But the detective already admitted he'd be erasing. So, I mean, we left to believe that more than likely we don't have it because of what? That detective chose to get rid of it upon himself. Then the other first 48 detective already said you ain't supposed to get rid of no recording. So to be honest, Brian Steele threw the ultra monkey wrench into play with the, where's the recording of this? So now it's hard stamps. Yeah, y'all ain't right with the recordings. It gives reasoning. So it's like he threw a boomerang or something. You know what I mean? It's like it don't even matter if it's a recording. It's like, yo, nah, they be playing with the recordings. It's like, yo, who?
I gotta forward this so y'all can get to it. Here we go.
Then ask the question as if there is one, because that's improperly asserting to the jury something that isn't factual. There's no evidence of it. So to answer the court's question, of course we have asked who spoke to whom. Did Tracy Lewis, did you speak to Adrian B? Tracy Lewis, I talked to Walter Murphy, and I put it in my report. I made a report of that. Calhoun, did you talk to Adrian B? I talked to Frederick Prothro. Here's my recording of that. Detective Quinn, and then this idea of destruction of evidence, that is the fallacy that is getting thrown around. That's the problem with asserting facts not in evidence. That's the problem with them being allowed to ask those kind of questions.
Look,
do you destroy evidence? Nobody has said anyone destroyed any evidence.
He already admitted it, baby cakes.
Sure did.
I ain't even gonna lie, love. Oh man. And you know he did. That's why you defended it. Nah, baby. He already admitted that. And
yes, a couple of hearings ago.
Because when it got asked again to another detective that would not be willing to break this law, she even admitted that was breaking the law.
Said it's against the law to erase evidence, even if somebody's lying. If you think they're lying, you gotta have all that data to sift through.
Detective, this case already
I want to get to the next one.
No, baby cakes. Oh.
Let's get to it. What he's saying right now is, well, I'm getting to it. What he's saying right now is that they've already cross-examined detectives, saying that in the first 48 detectives, you know that movie, that series, First 48 Hours, First 48, that they erase evidence. So Brian still just really, really pushed it. I just want you to go to this gentleman's channel. I just want to give you a tidbit because it's been a long day. And go to Postage channel, Eban Films. I'm gonna leave the description in the box.
Look, we got
EBANFILMS. When I go back and fix it, I'm gonna leave the description in the box. Okay, but we're at the end of this. You guys gotta go watch it. This was just a tidbit for y'all. Take care. This is Graceful Exposure. Peace out. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for the like. Talk to you soon. Bye.